10. Press release. Scientists see WTC Hutchison Effect Parallel. 14th and 18th of January 2008, Washington, D.C. In two appearances on a Washington, D.C. Pacifica radio station, WPFW, on a show hosted by author and political commentator Ambrose Lane, Sr., Dr. Judy Wood, a former professor of mechanical engineering, and John Hutchison, experimental scientist, discussed how photographic and video evidence suggests that the World Trade Center towers were destroyed using directed energy weapons. Many of the observed effects resemble those seen in John Hutchison's experiments. In early January 2008, Wood posted a new study on her website, drjudywood.com, which relates effects seen in photographs taken before, during, and after the destruction of the WTC complex, to effects seen in Hutchison's ongoing experiments. Wood and Hutchison co-authored the study. John Hutchison is a Canadian inventor and experimental scientist who has been working with field effects for almost 30 years. The Hutchison effect is a collection of phenomena discovered accidentally by John Hutchison in 1979 during attempts to reproduce the work of Nikola Tesla. Hutchison uses radio frequency and electrostatic sources. The Hutchison effect occurs in a volume of space where the beams intersect and interfere. The results are levitation of heavy objects, fusion of dissimilar materials such as metal and wood, anomalous melting, without heating, of metals without burning adjacent material, spontaneous fracturing of metals, which separate by sliding in a sideways fashion, and both temporary and permanent changes in the crystalline structure and physical properties of metal samples. Hutchison has reproduced his experiments many times, and the results are recorded on video and have been included in a number of TV documentaries that focus on unusual scientific experiments. Hutchison's metal samples have been repeatedly tested by scientists, including a group at the Max Planck Institute in Germany. The article by Wood and Hutchison at drjudywood.com documents effects and events seen in the vicinity of the World Trade Center and compares these with observed characteristics of the Hutchison effect. The observed effects include weird fires. The fires seen near the badly damaged cars do not seem to ignite nearby office paper. Some photos show firefighters walking very close to or even through the fires. A video by John Hutchison shows similar-looking fires on a model metal boat. Bent beams and jellification. Samples that Hutchison produced show very unusual effects on metal. Sometimes the metal jellifies, turning soft and losing form, leading to severe bending or fracturing of the sample. Sometimes samples erupt from the center, and sometimes they turn to dust, similar to what happened to the WTC on 9/11. Ongoing reactions. Hutchison samples often show an ongoing reaction even after the energy field is removed. This non-self-quenching reaction seems to occur at the nuclear level. This also appears to be happening at ground zero. Dr. Wood's study suggests that the WTC site is still being decontaminated, with trucks moving dirt in and out of the site, while hosing down operations continue, which Dr. Wood and Andrew Johnson photographed and recorded on video in January of 2008. Transmutation. Sometimes materials subjected to the Hutchison effect seem to change at a molecular or even atomic level. This could be the explanation for the apparent rapid rusting at GZ, where the steel rusts like iron. Also, some photographs show unusual effect on the aluminum cladding used on the Twin Towers that look similar to effects produced on Hutchison's aluminum samples. Wood, Hutchison, and Johnson appeared on two Ambrose Lane shows, We Ourselves, and discussed the similarities between the WTC event and the experimental evidence produced by the Hutchison effect. I have been collecting data over the last year and a half or so, and I have found these distinct and unusual characteristics, which I have given names such as fuming and toasted cars. I have even noticed flipped cars in some pictures, said Wood. In some cases, the flipped cars are sitting next to trees that are fully covered with leaves. If the flipping of the cars was caused by big explosions or wind from the towers coming down, asked Johnson, how do the leaves stay on the trees? Material scientist George Hathaway observed that the Hutchison effect causes either lift or disruption of the material itself. Lift explains the flipped cars. In some of his experiments, Hutchison observed spontaneous combustion, where fires appeared out of nowhere. He also confirmed that Colonel John Alexander and others from the U.S. military visited him in 1983 and filmed his experiments with a team from Los Alamos National Laboratories. Canadian MP Chuck Cook and Dr. Lorne A. Kuhn of the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, or CSIS, contacted him in 1986 and told him his work was, quote, a matter of national security, unquote. Hutchison says he's been told the defense contractor SAIC has his technology and has been developing it. Asked about ongoing dirt removal and hosing down at the WTC complex, Hutchison commented, quote, I think there is an ongoing reaction or infection, unquote. Wood noted that the damage done to the Bankers Trust or Deutsche Bank building was repaired, but then they decided to take the building down. This evidence indicates there is a continuing reaction there. Rusting beams in the Bankers Trust building and in the temporary PATH train station also suggest ongoing reactions. Photos here may be viewed in the text version of this book. At the end of the first show, a caller said, This is a revelation beyond revelations. This trumps everything. If this story ever gets out, it will change the course of the United States and the whole world's history. Another caller said during the second show, I'm thinking that these revelations we are hearing this morning should have the people so excited and so outraged that they should be flooding the lines to their congressmen and news people to get this message out as the #1 story of the year. For more information, please see www.hutchisoneffect.ca, www.wpfw.org, www.drjudywood.com, and www.weourselves.org.